Welcome to day 6 of Let's Get Exam Ready. Today we're continuing looking at the cognitive approach. I'm focusing on topic B, the reliability of cognitive processing. You may notice that we've changed from a green coloured table to an orange coloured table, and this is because colour coding your units and your revision notes can really help make sure that you're not getting things confused with each unit. So things from the biological approach were all green, things from the cognitive approach are all orange, to make sure that I kind of remember that anything from my orange revision notes is to do with the cognitive approach. And anything in previous videos that have appeared in a green table can be used in exams for questions about the biological approach. This topic has 2 subtopics, reconstructive memory and biases in thinking and decision making. So subtopic number 4 is all about memory, and we must make sure that all our key terms, our studies linked to memory. Whereas subtopic number 5 is not about memory, it's about a different cognitive process, thinking and decision making. So all your key terms and concepts, all your studies should not have anything to do with memory. It should all be about thinking and decision making. The idea of memory being reconstructed was first proposed by Bartlett, so you can use your knowledge here all about schema theory, explain how memory can be reconstructed, i.e. it's not a simple recording that we can recall in detail and recall everything accurate. It's likely that we piece together our pieces of memory, and when we're doing that, we might use our schemas, which might affect the reliability of that memory. Loftus has then gone on to done lots of research into reconstructive memory, suggesting that memory is actually problematic and can often have errors, and she talks about the role of post-event information and how it can cause memory to be reconstructed inaccurately, and the misinformation effect and the idea of leading questions. A lot of her research is focused on these topics. When it comes to biases in thinking and decision making, you may have looked at some particular biases, such as the anchoring bias, the framing effect. You need to know particular biases that can occur when we are thinking or making decisions. A lot of these biases are linked to the concept of heuristics, mental shortcuts. Not all of them are, though, so make sure if you are going to talk about heuristics that the bias that you're talking about actually can be explained in relation to heuristics. Anchoring bias and framing effect can both be explained with this concept of heuristics, this idea of our mind taking mental shortcuts because we're quite cognitively lazy. And we use the system 1, which is that automatic and intuitive thinking part. And again, you can talk about the dual process model to explain why these biases occur. Again, make sure your studies for subtopic number 5 are nothing to do about memory. They're all about biases when it comes to thinking and decision making. When it comes to your research methods and ethics, though, you need to think about the topic as a whole. Don't separate them into 2 subtopics. Think about, when we look at this concept about whether cognitive processes are reliable or not, we need to think about the research methods that we use to investigate this topic as a whole. Experiments are very commonly used, but you may also have some examples of interviews or maybe even surveys. And again, think about the topic as a whole. When we look at the topic of reliability of cognitive processing, what ethical considerations are really important for us to think about when it comes to researching the reliability of cognitive processing? And here are some practice questions, both short answers and essay response questions. Think about what studies you would include, how you would demonstrate knowledge for each of them, and for the essay response questions, think about your critical thinking. Remember, we have future videos all focused on critical thinking, so be sure to watch them to get more insights on how to demonstrate critical thinking.